What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter. Today I have a craft for you that is a glam version of a farmhouse DIY wall hanging that I just recently did. But I know I have my glam lovers and my farmhouse lovers, so I thought I would be fair and do a little bit of glam for the rest of you. So also, on that note, do me a favor, leave me a comment, let me know what you would like to see, what you prefer, so that I know if you prefer me going in the farmhouse decor direction or if you prefer me going in the glam decor direction. So either one's great. I love them both. But I would really love to know what you guys want. And on that note, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it if you want to know whenever I'm uploading a new video. And also the thumbs up if you like my videos. And then that way it also lets me know it's not just an ego trip, but it does really help my channel a lot, and it helps me to know what you guys want to see. And you know what? Really, it's all about you guys. So please let me know. That would be awesome. And on that note, let's get right to it. Okay, Glue Dots, let's get our glam on. First thing we're gonna do is take the mirrors out of the frames. Just press away the little tabs from the bottom while you push up, and should have no problem at all getting these mirrors out of here. Just like that. The only thing we're gonna be using is the frame, so we're gonna put the mirror and the backing aside, and we're gonna do that to all three of our mirrors. We're also gonna take the wrap off the coasters and the wrap off the little picture frames. These are the little 2x3 picture frames. Now, because we all have different styles and of course different budgets, I'm gonna give you a few different options for how to do this project. These frames off of the mirrors already come and they're black. If you choose to, you can spray paint them black, which will give a slightly more finished appearance to them. But if you choose not to, that's fine too. For this purpose of this tutorial, I'm actually just going to leave them the plastic black that they came as. The first thing I'm going to do, and here again is another option, again depending upon your budget. I purchased this on Amazon. I will link it below. It's a huge roll. It will last you forever. If you use this type of thing a lot, and there are so many options of things to do with it, it's really a great value in the long run rather than buying roll after roll after roll from the Dollar Tree. So I'm gonna go with this roll, and if it's not within your budget to get this, use the rolls from the Dollar Tree. And you're just gonna have, you can use either a couple rows of it, or you can, however it works out for you. So what we're going to be doing, first of all, is we're going to be laying out our frames so that they are approximately 2 or so inches apart. And then we're going to be cutting a piece of our diamond wrap so that it is the thickness of the frames as well as the space. So that should be approximately 3 inches. I'm going to go with 12 rows of the diamond wrap, and I'm going to be cutting 2 strips of 12 rows. Now, if you want to do a thinner, you want to do 2 rows of 5 using the Dollar Tree one, that would be great too. I would do at least 2 rows of 5 because the thickness will help to keep this thing a little more steady and not have it flipping around. So I have my pieces cut there, and what we're going to be doing is attaching our 2 frames together using the diamond wrap. So I'm going to flip them upside down. We'll be placing glue on the inside between the little tabs. So there are these tabs here on the frame, and we're going to try and glue right in between those 2 tabs so that it doesn't affect the way the bling wrap hangs. So we're going to squeeze a fair amount of glue on the upper portion, which is where your bling wrap is going to be attaching. And if you have a popsicle stick or you want to use your scissors or something to press that in there with, that would probably be a good idea so that you don't burn yourself. Okay, so while that's cooling off, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing and attach this one to our other frame. So now we're going to put the glue on the inside here of our frame and attach the bling wrap. Now make sure that this is going to be laying evenly and not cockeyed or anything. So I'm pressing my glue in. You can add some extra glue in there at the base of it just to make sure that it's holding. And we're going to give that a minute, and we're going to do the same thing attaching our next frame at either end as well. So we're going to do the same thing that we did here, right over here. Now here's what it looks like when we have all three of them attached. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut another 3 pieces of our diamond wrap. And if you want to make it thinner or if you want to make it the same width, again, it's style-wise, it's up to you. I'm going to go with the same width as the width that I have going right here. Now that I have our 3 pieces cut, we're going to do the same thing that we did. Instead of attaching one frame to the other, make sure your diamond wrap is facing down, because remember, we are on the back side of these frames. We're going to be gluing this piece in and letting it hang down in the middle of our circle here. Now, yes, you're thinking probably that you could have done this with one long piece, and that's a great thought. Possibly it would work out nicely. My concern is that sometimes having the pull from both ends would pull it up and away from the frame, so I like to do it in 2 separate pieces. Now once I get this all stuck on, I'm going to add a little extra glue for support. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing here to this frame, and then the same thing to our top frame as well. Okay, so all 3 will have the piece hanging down into the center of the circle. While I have this upside down, waiting for my 3 hang down center pieces to dry, I'm going to be working on real quick the hanging piece for the top here. So I have a piece here that is 3 rows wide and 36 rows long, and then it's 3 rows wide. And what I'm going to do is take this and fold it in such a way that the 2 same sides are facing up. So right now I'm looking at the back side of my bling wrap, and what I'm going to do is overlap them and then just glue that together. Now one of my favorite little tricks is using parchment paper to press things together, because that way it doesn't stick to your fingers and it just makes it so much easier. And if you saw my farmhouse DIY of this same thing, I definitely do use this trick doing that as well. So that way it's nice, I don't get all the glue strings and all that yucky stuff. So what we do have is this little hanging hook like that, and now we're going to be gluing that up here at the top the same way we glued these other pieces in. We're going to be gluing this right in there. Okay. While I'm waiting for that to cool off, what I'm going to do is offer you some other options here. Now, what we're going to be doing is creating the piece that will be hanging, once we flip this over, will be hanging in between, in the middle of our circles. So here are some options. Again, as I said, this way, depending on your budget and your style, what you may want to do. Now, there are multiple options, one of which would be to put the coaster, and I have these little flowers here that I pulled off. This is going to be the most economical way. You can spray paint these silver, which I can show you, and then you have that silver flower and glue that directly on there. Now, if you want to glam that up a bit, I purchased these from Michael's with my 50% off coupon. A lot of times these go on sale. There's also on Amazon, there are companies that sell really awesome bling brooches at a good price. So potentially what you could do is glue your flower down and put this in the center of your flower as an option. Let me zoom in a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so that is a potential option for this. Of course, by itself, sprayed silver, maybe gluing a little gemstone in there is the most economical option. Secondly, we could do this here and glue that in, which is really pretty as well. Third option that I want to show you is I have these little frames that I purchased at Dollar Tree. I'm going to take the insides out, and what I would be doing is putting a picture, a black and white picture or something in there. And then I'm going to be removing this little back piece here. It breaks right off. And then you can glue that into place there and put a picture in there if you would like. If you then want to take that a step further, you could also do that very same thing with whatever color background. If you want to put a colored paper of some sort in there and glue one of your embellishments on there, that's another beautiful option. Okay? So for my tutorial, I think what I'm going to do is cut off the back of my little flowers and spray paint them silver and also add an embellishment. I put my flowers on skewer sticks just to make it easier to spray paint, because that way you can flip them around and do whatever. And I was just outside spray painting in the dark, so I'm going to give these a few minutes to dry. I think they should dry pretty quickly. We're going to flip this back right side up, and we're going to attach the coasters. I'm going to start here at the bottom, and we're going to be attaching our coasters. Now, one thing I noticed when I bought my coasters, some of the coasters, it actually comes all the way to the edge, and other ones it didn't, and it had a little white rim around where the graphic didn't go all the way down. So you may want to look and see that you get that your graphic went all the way down onto the side of the coaster. So we'll be placing the coaster where we want it on there, and putting glue on the back side of your coaster, kind of up in that triangle area. Oh, and I want my parchment paper under. I learned that the hard way. Put your parchment paper under, and then lay your coaster where you want it, centered. So we're going to do that to all three of our sections, and then we'll move on. Hopefully by then our flowers will be dry. There we go. You gotta love this stuff. Alrighty, I'm gonna move on, get my next section glued. Now also make sure that your design is facing the same way on your coaster, and that you glue the same corner so that you have a little bit of uniformity to it. So now I have all three of my coasters glued on. I'm still waiting for my flowers to give them a little more time to dry. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is open up this, and I want to show you that on these, because this is actually necklace charms, they do have the rings that attach them, as well as the little part that sticks up that holds the ring into place. So we're going to be cutting all of that off so that these will lay flush. And I have a good pair of heavy-duty wire cutters that I'm using, and they very easily cut off. If you have smaller ones, jewelry cutters, they'll do the same thing. It's just seems to make it more effortless if you have a good strong wire cutter. If you don't want to use the flowers, this has this particular one has 2 small and 1 large embellishment. You can just glue those directly on and have it look like that. I'd like it to have a little more pop, I think, so, and I'd love for these to stand out a little more. So I am going to go ahead and take my flowers, which are actually dry. That little part of the flower fell off on the back, but you know, actually that's just fine. It seems to be holding together perfectly. So we're gonna go ahead and put the glue on the back side here of the flower and center it on the coaster and do that with each one of them. So really for me, my original plan was to do the picture frames and put black and white pictures of my family. But I think for the sake of being able to eventually maybe sell or give this away, I'm doing something that's a little less personalized. So now that these are glued down, I'm going to find the center point. I'm going to open up my flower right there at that center point. Put my hot glue onto my embellishment. And then I'm going to lay it right on top and press it down right in the center of my flower. Now on this one, because this particular embellishment is pretty large, you don't really see too much of the flower, but you will definitely see it on the smaller ones. Now for those of you that absolutely adore glam, like over the top glam, you could take the bling wrap, a long thin piece of it, you could go around the edge, outer edge of your coaster. It will cover up this white part if you want. You could add gemstones around your frames, or you could even go around your frame with one row of the bling wrap as well. So these are some potential options for you. I think I'm pretty much gonna finish with where I have it right now because I really like the way it looks. So let me show you what it looks like up on the wall.